Hello guys and welcome, it is ThatSrb2DUDE here today, back again with another video of what main power up does for all the weapons in the game. Today we are going to be covering the Slosher. I know it's a little bit overdue, but if you watched my update video a couple uploads ago, then you would know why I'm making this video at this point in time. But anyway, let's get into things. So first of all, the regular Slosher is the only Slosher weapon that has something different compared to the other Sloshers. Basically, its damage fall off is much more powerful than before, which is basically a thing that had been patched out of the game in a previous patch. But with the power of main power up, you can now get its fall off damage back to its old standards. Just a little thing if you guys didn't know, for the Slosher and the Slosher mainly, if you are to stand at a higher place compared to where your enemy is, you will basically do less damage to your opponent. If you're on the same level, or if your opponent is at a higher level than you, then you'll do the highest possible damage that you can inflict on them. So just to show you guys in the examples with the Slosher, when using main power up, this basically changes that for this regular Slosher in particular. So as you can see in the examples, with no main power up, you can see that I'm doing around 50 damage, but with the amount of main power up I'm running, you can see a consistent 70 damage, which is actually the maximum amount of damage that you can do with the Slosher. So to give you guys a little bit of my thoughts on main power up with the regular Slosher, I feel like this could really excel on maps like Moray Towers, Humpback Pump Track, Black Belly Skate Park. Basically, those are my three suggestions at this point in time. And the reason for this is because these types of maps tend to slope up and down and have lots of different higher ground areas, especially like Humpback Pump Track, because you can stand in the middle of the map, and if you're sloshing someone from within a lower area, then you'll still be doing your consistent 70 damage. Same with maps like Moray. If you're standing on the snipe area and you're sloshing down towards in the middle of the map, then with no main power up, it could potentially do less than 50 damage, but with a main power up, you could probably be doing 50 damage, making it a 2-shot hit. Maps like Port Mackerel, or I guess maps that are just generally flat, probably will not have any use with this. So I suggest that you guys take that in mind. Now for all the rest of the Sloshers in the game, like the Scioscia, the Blob Lover, the Slushie Machine, and the Slosher, all of these weapons get increased paint coverage when applying main power up to them. Now first of all, for the Slosher, just to show you, I guess, the comparisons for them, I gotta say with the Scioscia, it is very, very underwhelming. I put 2 mains and 1 sub of main power up, and honestly, it's kind of hard to tell the difference with it. For the Slushie Machine, I actually kind of get that same feeling as well. It seems very, very underwhelming. Like, you can kind of tell that when adding some main power up to this weapon, it does seem to be a little bit thicker than usual. But with the amount I put on, it's still not that big of a difference. I would honestly just think that, considering the Slushie Machine is a lot more Slayer oriented at this point in time, and the types of perks that you're using on it now these days, it would seem that it's probably better to invest in other perks instead of this one. Unless you're playing the Slushie Machine with Stingray in particular, then maybe it might have some use, but honestly, I don't feel like it's that necessary. The Blob Lover, on the other hand, seems a little bit more promising when adding main power up to this weapon. Since also the Blob Lover is throwing out 4 projectiles instead of just 1, when you do spread these projectiles out in different areas, it definitely feels a lot more worth it when it comes to ink coverage. To make it work, I would suggest putting at least 1 main 2 subs or more of main power up on to get some pretty decent ink coverage coming out. Now lastly, for the Slosher, personally for me, I don't think it's that worth it to put main power up onto the Slosher. I feel like you need to put at least 2 mains and 2 subs of main power up on just to be able to get a noticeable difference when not even wearing any main power up on in the first place. And honestly as well, if you're not wearing main power up with the Slosher, the projectiles itself still paint so much already. And if you're using the bubble Slosher in particular, it should be a thing that you're playing towards your special more than using the weapon when it comes to paint. The Slosher gets its bubble blower extremely fast, so I feel like if you invest a lot more with things like special power up, you will basically be making up for the lost paint that you could be having with main power up instead. You'll probably be putting down a lot more ink on the floor if you're using special power up more than main power up. So pretty much that is my 2 cents on the Sloshers and having main power up onto these weapons. For the majority of the Sloshers, I really don't feel like it's that necessary to invest in a lot of main power up. You could probably make some builds that are very situational and all that, but this is basically what I think, and you can just take my opinion how you will. And yeah, I pretty much think that is all to be said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please, if you did, please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch, both in the description below. Do it for both of you if you're feeling generous. Make sure to hit the bell button next to subscriptions to be notified of when I go maybe live on stream, and also to be notified of whenever I upload a video. But with that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I shall see you guys in a future video.